Hey BookTube, I just recorded a little come on over to the new page for everybody, and yeah, I'm going to do a Friday Reads. It's the first Friday Reads I've ever done, and hopefully I do a good job of it. So the things I will be reading this weekend, or for the next little bit, I just finished Wolf Hall, which was something I read for February. I've read a couple things for February. I also have some stuff that's not by women because I started reading them prior to February and I just want to finish things. So on my Kindle, I have I need to see Call the Nurse, True Stories of a Country Nurse on a Scottish Isle by Mary J. McLeod. And I am 46% through that on my Kindle. It's enjoyable. I read a couple chapters, usually when I'm falling asleep. When I go to bed, me and my husband, we read with our lights on, but then he usually goes to sleep before I'm ready to go to sleep, so then I pull out the Kindle and start reading, or I listen to my audiobook, and lately my audiobook's been sucking me in, and via audiobook I am on book 7 of the Wheel of Time series, The Crown of Swords by Robert Jordan, and it's just starting to get good. About 200 pages left. I know it's less than that. It's probably closer to 100. I'm down to like 7 hours of this before I hit the next one. And my goal for reading this year, one of my goals for reading, was to read at least 3 of these. And so now that I'm listening to audiobooks, I still don't feel like I'm reading them per se. Like I have that disconnect for audiobooks, but I will count it if I listen to them. So I might actually get further if I listen to them. The husband has the whole series on Audible, so I may be able to just keep going for a bit. I know that when I started reading them, I read like 1, 2, 3, 4 all in one swoop, and then 5 really drug on, and 6 took for bloody ever for me to read. So if this works better, and it has, because I just started this in January, and if I finish it by the end of February, I consider that a win. So, and that's by a guy, so that's not really... I might start something horror to read for the weekend, and that may or may not be by a woman, because there's not a lot of women horror authors. And the ones that are, I've read a lot of their stuff. Plus, I have like a little stack of horror that's been waiting till my husband got home, because I don't like to read them when I'm the only one in the house, substantially, which makes sense, because last night the coyotes were really out, and scared the crap out of me. And then, so because I just finished Wolf Hall, I'm going to ride the high and read Bringing Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel, which of course is the second in the Thomas Cromwell, and we're following Thomas Cromwell. This is the fall of Anne Boleyn. And I have to say, for Wolf Hall, I haven't reviewed it yet fully, but which will come at the end of February. One thing I found was I did not give a crap in the first part or two, where it was all Thomas Cromwell's backstory. I didn't start liking it until we got to the royal court, and then it was really good. So now that this is the royal court and it's continuing on in the royal court, I'm hoping it's really good. This one, Wolf Hall, came in at 606 pages, and this is 400 and some. Like 407? Yes, 407 pages. So it's substantially smaller in my eyes, and I got it at a book outlet sale. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to reading this and continuing on. This will be more February for me. So February is my Kindle and this, and then my audiobook is just not February-ish at all. But, oh well. I'm trying, right? I read a lot of women authors. Anyway, so yes, and I have a little stack for February. It's not substantial like my last hauls have been, which makes me so happy. We went to the used bookstore, and the used bookstore we go to has a 20 trade-in limit per visit, so that they don't get overwhelmed. So I've been taking like the 20 because I was collecting for like 6 months. So now we have actually gotten rid of all of the stuff I had been waiting to take in. and we have over $100 in credit. So we picked up a couple of things and decided to go back because we like to browse and we like to come and go at that one. So yeah, I have officially read 10 books this year so far, and 2 of them were super massive, so that's good. And if I finish the Robert Jordan, that's another super massive one. My goal this year was, of course, to read more huge books, because so I lowered the Goodreads challenge amount to 52 because I'm fine with reading a book a week if I'm reading huge book, anything over 500 pages. So the 600, the 700. I want to get to the Revolution of, or is it the Revolution of Maria M? The new Janet Finch. I have that. I bought it in Canada in November, and I really need to get to it because I'm excited for it, but I couldn't hold big books for a while, and now that I can, and I finished Charles Dickens, and when I finish, or not Charles Dickens, I finished War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. When I finish Bringing Up the Bodies, I'm going to go to David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, which I have waiting, and that one's a chunky bugger too. So, yes. All in all, these are some plans, but I won't get to Dickens till March, probably, and I'm going to try and do March Mystery Madness, but I need more clarification on what mystery is. Is it thriller mystery, or, are we talking Agatha Christie only, or... So I need more clarification on mystery, so I need to look at those various things and see what the scope is, so I know. But I've pulled out a few things, like the Chalk Man I got for Book of the Month. What else? I've got a couple that I think would qualify, so I'm putting them tentatively in the list for March. I suck with TBRs, though, so I could go completely off the rails and end up reading a giant Bronte novel, or a Bronte biography, which I have that I want to read. So, there you have it. And I'm going to try and record another Friday reading next week. Now that I have a separate channel, I can kind of do that and be a lot happier about it. I hope you have a great reading weekend. Bye.